Yeah, don't let them break you. Don't let these things break you. And who I'm talking to right now is my Gen X friends and my boomers, but also my micro boomers. Well, who's a micro boomer? This is what I call that generation that I always looked up to when I was a little kid. They were the cool teenagers, the cool 20 something year olds driving around the neighborhood. So, those are people that are well into their 60s right now. And those are our micro boomers. They're not quite Gen X, but they're not quite the boomers that are literally entering their 80s now. So, I call them micro boomers. So, this video is for all of you. Do not let this break you. And so, what am I talking about? So, when we reach our age, kids start growing up, leaving the house. You're still in that same house. And some days, doesn't it feel like no one is calling you? Now, I can't really attest to all these things, but I can certainly relate because I still work. I still have, a child that's in grade school. So I'm not quite there yet. But I do know friends and other people talk about this that they feel kind of lonely in their house, walking around their house where there's echoes of the voices of the past, right? And there's certain things that I just feel like that I do, like if I am feeling kind of a little, it's that subtle anxiety where you feel like the world is leaving you behind because we get to a point where we can't do things like we did before. Like I can't hike these mountains like I used to hike before. So it's one thing I can't really do anymore. And I feel like it's kind of left me behind. Okay. But if you're still living in the home that you've lived in for years and it's just different, maybe it's just you now, or it's you and your husband, but your husband just does his own thing, or vice versa. Maybe your wife does their own thing, right? And so here's a couple of things that I think is really helpful. If someone is not calling you, call them. Don't be thinking, why am I the one that always has to call to set up, hey, let's go out and do this, or, let's meet to go play a game or whatever. Hey, just call them because they might be sitting around thinking the same thing. Or, people really get stuck in a rut, and that's why it's just so easy to fall into the Netflix trap or, whatever channel you like to watch. It's really easy to just get in a routine every day. So, one thing I think to not let them break you is, reach out and call them, right? Yeah. And then if they don't want to do something, if you've called them several times and they don't reciprocate, then they're done. Scratch them off the list. But, a lot of times you call them once or twice and then they'll go do it and you have a great time. And you're like, why did I wait so long to call you? There's that. The other thing is grown kids. And I know I'm dealing with it on both ends because, again, I'm Gen X. So I have a mother who's getting older and then I still have kids that need me. So I'm in that in-between stage right now. And it's just very weird. But if you have kids that are getting older and they're not needing you as much, not hanging around, they're going off and doing their own thing. I know it's hard, but you just got to let that happen. You just got to let it happen. I was reading something really helpful the other day, and it had to do with, don't always try to bail out your kids. Don't always try to give them advice. Let them make let them make mistakes, have failures. And it's really, really hard, especially now because there's a lot of grown kids living at home now because rent is ridiculous. I talk about that all the time. And it is a little bit different than when my generation, most of us just left as soon as we could. We were out at 18, right? Or earlier. But it was possible to pay your rent and have a job at the same time. It's very, very, very different now. It is very different now. So, and it really kind of bugs me a little bit because I do have one child's in their 20s and then I have a younger one. So it does bug me when I see videos about, well, the millennials and the Gen Zs, whatever, they just need to suck it up and work harder. Or, don't baby them, kick them out of the house. It's like, do you know how much rent is? Do you know how much rent is? It's bad enough for us adults, right? Trying to make ends meet. I'll talk about retirement in a second. But like young people trying to start their life, let alone pay for a cell phone, pay for a car payment, and then pay for rent, it is not doable if you live in a major city. Now, I don't know about small towns. I actually looked on Zillow though, and home prices are high anywhere. I mean, they just are. Unless you live in some scary neighborhood straight out of that movie, The Barbarian, I keep talking about. That's really decrepit. Yeah, you could buy a house for 30 grand, but you're living in a moldy house that's falling apart in a bad neighborhood, right? So it is strange because when your kids are just trying to do their own thing, it's just take a step back, let them do it, and start working on yourself. So one thing is write a list down of activities you can do every day. Here I have this beautiful beach picture in the background. It looks a little cartoonish because AI, you know. But like having something different you can do every day. So like one day it might be like, okay, I'm going to work on my fitness because I'm Gen X or a micro boomer now, or even a boomer, and I don't want to end up in a care home. I don't want to end up in a nursing home. And let's talk about that for a second. So maybe one thing on your to-do list is like, I'm going to move more today and every other day, not every day, because you want time to recover. Even if it's little, I know if you're not used to it, even walking down the steps to your driveway is a big deal, but you got to start somewhere. Because if you envision yourself retired and like, oh, I'm going to be walking and biking and swimming and I'm going to go to lunch and I'm going to go to the movies or I'm going to start a garden or I'm going to always do that hobby I wanted to do. If you're not doing that now, you may not be able to physically do it when you are ready to retire. So that's why my advice is if you're a Gen X and older, you've got to start doing things now. Because if you're not active now, because you go to work, you have a desk job, or you sit and watch movies and TV all day because of whatever reason, or you're just inside all day and you're not being active, chances are, because I used to work in a nursing home years and years ago when I was fresh out of school, you will end up in a care home. You have got to stay active and strong. And so any little amount, and you build on that, is helpful, right? So that could be on your to-do list of like keeping yourself active and not feeling like you're in, a house with echoes and memories of the past. You can make things vital and vibrant today. And so, okay, let's just touch on that too for our Gen X and older people as well, because I think about this all the time. So yes, I still work full time as an employee at a facility, which I don't want to name because I don't want it to, I don't want my channel to affect my job. But even though some people at my job, they do see these videos. So, but it's all good. But if you are getting ready to retire, like me, I mean, obviously I'm over 50. It's coming. But I purposely worked for a place. Like I started working for them. I think I got this job when I was 48. I know that's late in the game because I was starting a private practice, but I can't provide my own pension. I can't even provide my own health insurance. But, luckily as a doctor, when I need stuff, it's kind of easy because I just treat myself for the most part. But retirement, that's a different thing. So one day I was sitting down on my computer and I was 48 years old and I was like, oh my gosh, getting out of debt from college still. Yeah, in my 40s. Yeah, so all you Gen Z out there, you're probably not watching this anyway, but if you're jealous of us, no, we all still have incredible debt. You're not the only one. So yeah, I had a lot of debt from school I had to pay off. I mean, my gosh, it almost hit six figures, but I caught it in time before it hit six figures. But it was almost there, to give you an idea, medical school debt. And at 48, I was like, how am I going to get out of debt and then be able to still like afford my bills? So I literally started looking for a job that would pay me benefits. And I didn't really realize how valuable a pension would be. Now, if you can find a position, because here, like I think our Mayo hospitals provide a pension, and what are the there's a couple other hospital systems that do provide pensions, but there's a lot of hospitals that do not provide a pension. And so you want to work in an industry or a group that provides either a great 401k or a pension if you haven't done it yet and you're in your 40s and 50s, because you still have time. You still have time. And that's what I did at age 48. I was like, okay, I'm going to still run my private practice, but I'm going to get a job that gives me benefits and a pension. So now that was almost 10 years ago. Yeah, because I'm over 50 now. I'm well into my 50s now. And it's been almost 10 years. And oh my gosh, thank God I did that. And I feel like that was just yesterday because 48, you're just looking at 50 right around the corner. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not prepared. I am not prepared for old age. So if you're still young, if you're still in your 50s and 60s, you are not out of time. But that's one way I thought for me that worked was because if it wasn't a pension, it would have been a 401k, what I found, right? And that was really, really important. So I hope that is a good piece of advice, you know? And so thinking about retirement, that saved me too, because I was so busy spending all my money on education and med school and stuff like that, that I wasn't putting money away in a retirement account. But I've made up for lost time now. So that's one thing. And so a lot of us are afraid of getting older, not just because our physical limitations or we get injured more easy now, or, but it's really financial worries. Yeah. But, you can do something about it. It is not too late. It's not too late to do that. Yeah. So there's a word on that. And that's another thing you can put on your to-do list. And even if it's something only part-time, my thought is if you are personable and you are you get your job done, if you work in a specific place, they recognize that and you could move to full-time. Yeah, that's a thing. Right. And then the other thing is putting on your to-do list to not let them feel like they're going to break you. Like, it's fine to feel anxiety and lonely. And the best remedy I find of that is getting out. You need to get out, walk in the neighborhood, walk at your favorite gym, walk in the mall, wherever. There's always somewhere to go. If you're lucky enough to live in a beautiful area like this, walking there and just sitting and looking outside. Sunlight, nature has an incredible healing power. It really, really does. And it's so important. And gosh, it's kind of weird because sometimes when I go out on a walk, I see these people head to toe covered in clothing and they look like a mummy, like they're all wrapped up because they're worried about skin cancer. And I do worry about them because sunlight is extremely necessary. It helps us sleep better. It helps our immune system. And if people are worried about skin cancer, I do tell them, well, cover up the parts you're worried about, but you need to get sunlight on your skin for at least 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day if you're very fair skinned. And you want that light to hit your real eyes because it does help reset your circadian rhythm so you sleep better at night. It's just really, really important to do that. So yeah, that's a few things I've had to learn, just stop trying to give so much advice to my older son anyway, and just kind of let him do his things, let him figure out things. It's really, really hard. It's so hard to do that. And to not feel sorry for myself as I'm getting older and I can't do certain things. I'm just creating new goals now. And so that's the thing. I know I don't look the same. I know my hair's falling out. I'm losing my teeth. There's things happening, but I'm just creating new goals. It's like, yeah, my hair's falling out, but I at least still have some hair. Okay, I'm happy about that. My teeth, it's a problem. I don't want dental implants because I'm worried. I don't want a root canal. That's a whole nother video. I'm not a fan of that. But at least I still have most of my teeth. I'm just looking at the positive side of things, right? My brain is still clocking along. I can still work. I can still walk. Yeah, I just staying positive and thankful. I know this is kind of going off on a rant, but I was just seeing videos about Gen X lately, and then I don't want to not include the micro boomers, the people that I always looked up to because now they're well into their 60s retiring. And yeah, I think about that a lot. So, all right, comment below if you have any suggestions too, or if you have any thoughts on this, because I think it's really valuable. Yeah. Okay. See you on the next one.